let me start off by commending everyone's participation in this, and I know how difficult it is to be in this situation. Being a son of a steelworker and having gone through a number of strikes as an adolescent, I know what you're feeling because I know what my dad felt during those periods of time. But I have to say that this fight today is probably one of the most important fights because it's more than a labor dispute. This truly is indicative of what is the unfair trade scenario we have with the United States. This is not about labor. This truly is about a foreign entity attacking this country and really taking our sovereignty away as a country. As I mentioned, this is not a labor dispute. This is a fight between the American protectionism that is presently prevailing in the United States at our expense locally and nationally. And I stand by you in solidarity, and I commend your fight. And anything I can do, as little as I can do, I'll be there for you. And I thank you very much for your time today.
As most of you know, there's a huge campaign going on to try to discredit the union and try to discredit especially the leadership. So yesterday there was a small drama on a radio program, talk program, and they had someone from the group School of Business giving an expert opinion that the reason the union didn't want to hold a vote was the leadership was getting paid while everyone else is getting strike pay, and they're dirty, rotten bastards, and they don't care about anybody, and you know, and he was on all morning. So this morning in the Spectator, there was a comments by him where he was asked, well, do you know that the union officials aren't getting paid? They're just getting strike pay. So this economic expert says, oh, I was misinformed. Then he said, but the auto workers, they get paid when they're on strike. And then I guess it was investigated and they don't, so he's misinformed again. And I just want to point out that none of this is innocent. Just for the record, when U.S. Steel took over, one of their commitments that they did live up to is they give, I think it's, anyway, don't quote me on the number, but it's like $30 million to McMaster University. And this is what happens when these big multinationals come in. They seep in all over the place and their tentacles go all over. Because the first thing you have to ask is, what is the DeGroote School of Business doing commenting on whether union officials get paid or not? You know, it should be like labor studies or someone, you know, in that field, but they're experts. And then you have to ask, well, okay, if they're such experts, how come none of them predicted any of these economic crises and the collapses? None of them explained to people about credit default swaps and how they're all scams, collateral debt obligations. So they have no opinions on those. They don't know anything about that. They can't predict it. But every other day they're on the TV or radio giving expert advice on how unions should operate. The week before, Marvin Ryder was there telling people, oh, this is how you put a motion in union meetings. So he's interested in how the union runs their meetings and that the voice be heard. So the DeGroote School of Business is interested in how unions operate. So this is, as I said, it's not innocent. This is to try to discredit the union, your leadership, and to create doubt in people's minds about what we're doing. So what is it we're doing? We appreciate the comments of Councillor Sam Marula. It gives us a little bit of hope that you know, it is possible for these politicians to grasp what's going on here and what we're fighting for. We would like to have that unanimous council resolutions, the two of them that they had in Hamilton. We'd like to have that reflected in Queen's Park and in Parliament, that the politicians of all political stripes recognize what's going on here, that it isn't just a labor dispute, although it is a labor dispute, but it isn't just that. We're fighting for what kind of a Canada we're going to have. And in this sense, this question of, like, the vote, that they want to impose their ideology from the States that, yes, people can vote to shaft 9,000 pensioners and nobody should defend them, nobody should stand up for them. So Local 1005 is not going to do that. You can have Bill Kelly and all these other people, they can run all their programs But it's not going to happen that we are going to consciously say, let's shaft the pensioners. It's like, to even have that as discussions, that this is up for debate, shows how low they want this society to sink. That people who work 30, 40 years, and they're 70, 80, 90 years old, and there's 78% of the lowest pension recipients are widows, that we're supposed to consciously sit here and say, yes, that's fine, because U.S. Steel wants it, we'll do it. Or because they did it to 240,000 pensioners in the States, it's okay to do it here in Canada. So that's what they're demanding, and we're not going to do it. And the other point is, which everyone here has kids, grandchildren. The other thing they want us is, okay, consciously decide that we're going to shaft the next generation. They don't deserve a pension. We're going to turn our back on them. We don't care how they're going to live when they retire. Well, quite honestly, the pension we have now is because someone in the past decided and fought for that we have pensions. So when I was 23 years old and started here at Stelco, I didn't care about a pension, didn't even think about it. It wasn't even on the radar screen, but somebody did. And so that's our duty now. And if we consciously say, no, we're going to cut the younger generation off, then what does that make us? So what message are we sending to the society and to the people in Canada? So we recognize that this is a bigger fight. So in that sense, I really do appreciate the politicians that have come on board. But the challenge for us is to get all these politicians on board so they can't escape. This is a national issue. This net benefit of Canada now is being discussed all over the country. What does it mean when these foreign powers come in? And what is this net benefit? Is it just that they make lots of money and then they can leave? Or is it something that has to do with the Canadian people, that there should be a net benefit to them? So that's what we're grappling with. So we are going to have the picket lines issue. But one thing I just want to mention, we took a bus up to Ottawa for a court hearing, and there was a small courtroom, so only a few of us could go in. The rest of the people were outside with their banners and flags, and they were all amazed at the reception they had and the discussions that people wanted to talk. Like, what is it? What's going on? What's happening? So one of the things that I'm asking people to think about is we think we should be taking this to the cities around here, the towns, all over the province at least, to bring this right directly to the people as a way of pressuring these politicians that they can't just ignore us and say it has nothing to do with them or with anybody. So that's one of the things, and people should, anyway, we're going to organize a program, and we're asking people that they should volunteer for that, to take little jaunts out around to deliver our message. We have to take it further, because unfortunately we're stuck with the media that, if they actually honestly report something, you're lucky, and then there's always an angle, then there's always a thing, and then there's the straight lies, and then there's the rebuttals, and so we have to be able to take things directly to the Canadian people, so that at the end somehow we develop this, what Sam was able to do on City Council, we want to develop that all across the country. So with that, anyway, I'd like to thank you very much.